Om. Shall we start? Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Avignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritam Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Krupa Tamaham Bande Paramanandamadavam Paramanandamadavam. Remove the slide. Hari Om. Today is a very auspicious day. It is Amavasya. Amavasya, according to the tradition in India, is the beginning of the growing phase of the moon. And moon signifies the mind. And therefore, to start something on Amavasya day is itself very auspicious. The second important thing about today, it's also St. Patrick's Day, one of the great saints of Europe. And he contributed to the spirit of Christianity much more than many other saints who have come before and after him. And that is why a day has been allocated for him. So it is very auspicious on that occasion also. It is specially auspicious for all of us because we are embarking on a unique journey. Atma Bodha, the knowledge of the self. Before we go into the text, I wanted to get a quick introductions so that we all know who we are. I know you all have been putting up some text about yourself in the WhatsApp group. That is good. But it is also good to hear from you so that we get the depth of the feeling that is behind your words. So I will request Vandana here to unmute you one by one. We'll start with Venkatji. Briefly tell about yourself and how come you joined this course. Can you increase your volume so that we can hear you?
Yeah. My name is Venkat Ketreddy. I have been following Raman Maharshi philosophy from 2 to 3 years. So even I am so interested in going in depth of Shankaracharya Guruji philosophy to improve my sadhana and to streamline my sadhana.
Very good. Thank you, Venkat. Thanks for joining us today. Satyaji, I know you, but I think you have to introduce yourself to others.
Hari Om, sir, and Hari Om to everybody. My name is Satya. Since 2013, me and my wife Shobha, who will also be speaking, we started to be on the spiritual path since then. And we are doing all the SIF courses which are there. In fact, it's a reflection of the Sandeepni course, and that thrills us. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Reza?
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
I am Reza from Reunion Island. I've been studying Vedanta for the last 2-3 years at Chimaya Mission in Reunion. And I wanted to get a better knowledge of the scriptures and Prakarana Granthas through these courses.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Radhika ji?
Hari Om to everybody. I'm a devotee of or disciple of Mata Amritanandamayi. I've been following her for 14 years, and but primarily it's more of karma and bhakti yoga. But I also want to get into the Jnana Marga and study the Vedanta, so to gain more spiritual knowledge. And my mother also is a guru, the Srimad Bhagavatam guru.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Radhika ji. Thanks for the good introduction. Pradeep, I know you, but still for the others, you may need to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Pradeep. I'm from Bangalore, and I've been studying basic Vedanta course with Acharya Ram Mohanji. Interested to explore more about Atma Bodha, so that's why I'm here.
Very good. Salvatore? Hari Om. Audio is not clear there. Can you just adjust it? I think you have to select the specific mic in your device. Salvatore, while you adjust that, I will listen to Vidya ji. Introduce yourself. Vidya ji?
Hari Om, my name is Vidya. So I'm one of the chicks from Melbourne. We've been in the mission since I was about 10 years old. I just wanted to learn more about, I guess, the basics of the Vedanta.
Very good. Very good. Nothing like starting young. Very good. Shobha ji?
Hari Om, sir. My name is Shobha. I'm from Pune. I've done the courses with both you and Shanti Madam ji, and it was a pleasure studying with you. So I wanted to continue this path, sir. That is why I have joined the course, and I'm extremely grateful to both of you, sir. Thank you so much.
Who is user? I don't know the name. Can you announce yourself so that we will also?
Hari Om, my name is Manoj. I'm from Bangalore.
What is your name, sir?
Manoj Kumar Sinha, Bangalore.
Manoj, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Manoj. Thank you. Yes, Manoj ji.
Actually, I attended a EG online service course, level 1, and I got certificate from Acharya on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Adhiguru Shankaracharya. Now I joined another Sanskrit easy online level course too. So I am doing that course. Now I am registered for this webinar.
Very good. Excellent, Manoj. Thank you very much for a wonderful introduction. Radhaji, can you unmute your, can you turn on your video and then, if possible, please introduce yourself.
Hari Om. I'm extremely sorry. There's a technical problem and my webcam is not working. So hopefully by next time it'll get done. My name is Radha Panikkar. I live in Thane, which is a city next to Mumbai. I retired 2 years ago and decided that I would like to formally learn our scriptures. So this first course is, I think, something wonderful because you are going to start with the basics. Because what the description said was taking you from the known to the unknown, which is, I think, wonderful. So I am looking forward to this, and thank you so much for doing this webinar because it's easy to be able to study when you're at home if you cannot travel. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you very much, Radhaji. Next time we will also see you and put a face and a name together. Okay. Alkaji, would you like to turn on your video and talk to us about yourself? Okay, some technical problem for her too. Okay, and then we come back to Salvatore. If your audio is fixed, yes. Still audio is not coming through for some reason. It's a serious technical glitch. Hari Om, can you hear us? Okay, not a problem. We'll wait for another round while we fix all these things. These teething troubles are recognized, even mentioned in scriptures too. This Advaita Vedanta is not as easy as we are led to believe. Okay, there will be glitches, there will be challenges, but there is a Sanskrit term called charai veti. Charai means to move, to go. Charai veti means keep going. Don't worry about those small challenges that one gets in because of certain constraints in which we are all living and existing. Couple of suggestions for a very effective webinar is, number one, make sure that you have the light in front of you and not behind you. This is important because then I can actually read your facial expressions and appropriately know whether you are following or if there's any difficulty for you to understand something. That is a first request. The second request is make sure that your face is in the middle of the screen, or at least about 1/3 from the top, so that I get to see the expressions clearly. This is a second request. Those who might like to do some camera adjustments can do it. Not necessarily today, but when you are in the next session, do that. The third request is make sure that you are not disturbed, because there will be a flow of thought, and all of us are connected through this wonderful medium of webinar. And to actually be in communication with the Acharya and Acharya with you, there should not be any interferences. So make sure that for this 1 hour or so, make sure nobody knocks at the door, tell them I'm not available, or make sure somebody else takes care of the rest of the world for you. Okay, that's a third request. The fourth request is, please come. I'm seeing that all of you are perfect. Please come as if you are coming to the ashram and you're actually in the presence of an acharya or somebody who's going to study this text along with you. That is very, very important, because the dress, the attire, the saucham is the Sanskrit word that is used there, which means the mental cleanliness. So come just before the session, do some breathing exercise or something to purify all the negative thoughts that would have been imbibed on us by the world outside, and join the session with that sincerity that Bhagavan Shankaracharya would expect. With that small little things that we have to take care of, let us now go into the text itself. Can you bring up the next slide? The text Atma Bodha belongs to a category of texts known as known as Prakarana Grantha. The term Prakarana means it is topical, and Grantha in Sanskrit means text. Therefore, the term Prakarana Grantha means it is a topical text. If Atma Bodha is a Prakarana Grantha, then what are the other kinds of Granthas that are possible? There is only one other kind that is possible, which is known as Shastra Grantha. Shastra means it is all-encompassing study of a subject. The difference between Prakarana Grantha and Shastra Grantha is that Prakarana Grantha is meant for those students who cannot go into the original study of the subject by themselves and are unable to absorb those concepts that are present in the holistic approach of a Shastra Grantha. The Shastra Grantha covers any subject that can be conceived by us. Physics, maths, chemistry, all of them are Shastras. The Shastra Grantha, which pertains to the knowledge of the self, is known as Upanishad. Generally, all the aspects of that subject is covered in a Shastra. Prakarana Grantha is not restricted in that way. The Shastra Grantha will be usually brief, because the subject that is covered is vast, then it has to be necessarily brief. And especially knowledge of the self in Upanishad is very, very cryptic also. Because it is cryptic and brief, it is very difficult for a student to jump into the Shastra Grantha directly. Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, the first guru of Advaita Vedanta, who actually took this knowledge from his own gurus, who was Gaudapada and others, but he is the one who brought it to the width and breadth of our country and establishing it as being superior and more comprehensive than other philosophies that were being practiced or studied in his period. So, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, when he did that, he wrote commentaries on the three major texts of Shastra. That is Upanishads, the Brahma Sutra, and Bhagavad Gita. And when he had given this knowledge to all of us through his commentaries, people found that even those commentaries are very difficult for people to follow, because our brain is not exactly like Bhagavan Shankaracharya's brain. I can recall that when I first joined a college in Chennai to do my engineering, there was a physics professor and he asked some simple question. I don't remember the question, but about 80% of us did not know the answer. And he said, if you did not know the answer, you can step out of the class. He expected the students to be aware of the fundamentals before he would start teaching physics. His name was Professor Srinivasan from IIT Madras, a very brilliant professor of physics there at that time. He's no more, of course, but he was very committed to the subject. Why I'm bringing up that is, Bhagavan Shankaracharya also was committed to the subject of Vedanta, especially Advaita Vedanta. So when he gave all these texts, he realized that people by just reading it would not get it, because everybody's brain is not developed to that level of comprehension. So what he suggested is that I would write something which will make it easy for people to understand. So he created a text called Atma Bodha. Atma Bodha has been created by an author. Upanishads are not created by author. Next slide. The Prakarana Grantha, which is Atma Bodha, is considered as an auxiliary text or a supporting text written by an Acharya for the understanding of the main source, in this case Vedanta. The Moola Grantha, or as I said, Shastra Grantha, are Vedas. So when you have an auxiliary text, then automatically there is a Moola Grantha to which it is connected. Moola Grantha in the case of Vedanta or Vedas is Apaurusheya Grantha. These are Sanskrit words I'm telling you, but I will also translate it for all those non-Sanskrit people. Apaurusheya means that which is not a product of human intellect. It has been given to them by the Creator himself so that human mind can evolve and understand how the entire creation has come to be and what is the nature of its true self. The Moola Grantha, because it deals with a very complex subject of creation and God, which are beyond the ken of our ability to perceive by our senses, the Moola Granthas have to be explained. So commentaries and then notes and all that are available on the Moola Grantha. But even when you write those notes, commentaries and all that, the Moola Grantha cannot be grasped by people who are so much outward facing in life. They have to become quiet. And today's world, there is no quietness. Everybody is running around madly here, there, etc. The Prakarana Granthas are the guiding books. Like you have these, when you want to pass an exam, they will give you a ready reckoner. It's like that. These are ready reckoners. They are written by acharyas with the aim of clarifying the original text, clarifying their commentary on the original text also. Therefore, Prakarana Granthas are twofold. The first one is known as introductory texts, which are studied before studying the Upanishads. The examples are Tattva Bodha, which will clarify all the Vedantic terms that are used and their definitions, Atma Bodha, which is the knowledge of the self, and Panchadashi, which is also an elaborate discussion on the process of realization. The Prakarana Granthas, which are studied after the study of Upanishads, are designed to stabilize the teaching that has been gained from the Upanishads. So Aparokshanubhuti or Advaita Siddhi, these are all texts which are also Prakarana Granthas, but they are studied after the Upanishad has been grasped. The knowledge of the Upanishad has to be absorbed, and then they will stabilize that knowledge in us. Such texts are also available. Luckily for us, Atma Bodha happens to be of the first type. Prakarana Granthas meant for students like us who have not studied the Upanishads. And Bhagavan Shankaracharya has been so kind that he did not write too many verses like Bhagavad Gita 700 and all. He made it only 68. And they are all composed in a meter. Meter is actually the rhythm that is behind a composition. And one of the meters is known as Anushtup. Even Bhagavad Gita is also in the same category. It is very easy to study, and it actually easy to memorize also. When I approached Swami Advayananda before embarking on this webinar, I sought his blessing. I said, this is the first time I'm going to do a webinar on Atma Bodha. Please, he is the one who actually, whatever you're going to listen from me is actually a reflection of what he had left in me. So my role in this is just a conduit, like this computer is there, which is conveying the speech of my words to you. I'm going to only share with you what knowledge my acharyas have been given to me. So there is nothing original in my knowledge. So it is all heard and repeated. Okay. Having said that, when I met him, he said, do two things. Make sure that everybody at least, chants the verses one by one during the session. So this Atma Bodha text is not going to be easy. I will pick randomly somebody from your group. I would like you to chant the verses. After of course, I explain how it is chanted. So we will have that part of it also as part of this sessions. And the second thing he advised me is, at logical points, make sure that you get a feedback on how much they have grasped. So there will be an objective test which will be taking about 2-3 minutes or 4 minutes of your time. All choose the right answer kind of questions. You don't have to do too much of writing, but you'll have to think a lot and remember things. That will be 2 features of this course which he advised me, and he conveyed his blessings to each and every one of you who have taken this step forward. Atma Bodha stands out because of 2 features. One, the fundamentals of Advaita Vedanta is expounded in a very simple Sanskrit language. Back again. It is also supported by an example for each element of knowledge that is explained. The style is so well designed. I mean, we are talking about this written in the 7th century, when the term called case studies were never available also. You must imagine how brilliant Bhagavan Shankaracharya must be to have conceived that unless you have a case study to review, you will not understand a concept. So he packed every one of these 68 verses has got a 2-part. One, the principle. Second, an example. Our job will be to understand the principle based on understanding the example. This is how we will proceed. Next slide. The term Atma Bodha has got 2 parts, Atma and Bodha. Atma in Sanskrit refers to the intrinsic nature of everyone and everything. Atma of a sugar is sweetness. I'm picking up an example at one end of the spectrum, which is an inanimate object. So if you say sugar, the first thing and the only thing that will come to you is its sweetness. You will not talk about sugar in other way. Then later on you will give qualification, is it powdered sugar, brown sugar, and so on and so forth. But the first common denominator which covers all kinds of sugar that is available is sweetness. In the same way, Atma is the nature, the intrinsic nature of all beings. Now, the moment we look at each other, we see differences. And then we try to find out what is the common denominator between all of us. We'll use a term called humans. Okay, we'll say all of us are humans. But the term human, again, is not the same. A human being, if you define him as being X, Y, Z in one definition, you will find that same human being is not available in another place with those definitions. So if you say honest person is a human being, you go and see dishonest people are there. So the term human being is not the right message to convey what is our nature. That definition should hold the test of time, space, and variety in the world. So Atma is a term that refers to a non-changing original truth of all beings in this world, whether they be humans or animals or inanimate or animate. So if you look at Sanskrit definition, I've written a Sanskrit definition. I'm going to explain every part of it, do not worry. Those who are interested can write it down if you feel. I will also try to share key slides after this session through our WhatsApp group so that you have it handy. Yach apnoti is the first one, definition. Yach adatte becomes ya adatte. The cha means and, okay? Yachati, yaha cha chati, okay? Yachati, okay? Vishayaniha, that is the first part of the thing. Yacha asya santato bhavet. Asmat iti kirtyate atma. This is what is called Atma. Let's see the breakup of that sentence. The first root is ap. Yach apnoti, ap is the root. In Sanskrit, ap refers to the pervasiveness of an object. So, Atma is that which pervades everything and everyone. That is the understanding. Next one. The second mean is yat adatte. Adatte means that which resolves everything into itself. So this pervasiveness which says that it is the core of everything that you see, it also withdraws everything into itself, making what you see as everything as a mere projection. So it is able to resolve everything into itself, like the desert resolves the various kind of mirage images we get. That is the thing. Next. The third meaning is ati iti atma. Ati is derived from the root ad, to eat, to experience. So all that is happening in this world is anchored on Atma. The fourth meaning is at sahitya gamane. That which exists forever. Satatam asti means always existing. Sada asti iti atma. Always it is existing. It is not there when it was not there at all. There is no time when it was not there, is the message we have to take. Thus we see there are four meanings for Atma. And all of them, if you try to resolve it, you will get to that it is of the nature of Sat, which is all existing, conscious because it has to experience, an awareness, and it is the one which is experiencing, means all that is happening in this world, only it is able to truly experience. Not the other experiences are intermediate people. For example, if the king gets to organize a program of a dance, it is for him the dance is happening. All others who are sitting in the dance program are mere, bystanders. They got to see the dance because of the king. If the king did not have the dance program organized by his power of ability to get that dance going, none of us would have been able to see the dance. In that way, Atma is the one which is truly experiencing, is the message we have to take from this. Okay. Next one. Now we come to the second term, Bodha. The word Bodha, derives from Bodh, which means knowledge. Bodha actually means dissemination, knowledge, all those words are synonymous to it. Now, Atma is of the nature of awareness. Bodha is also knowing, knowledge. So, we get a conflict. Atma Bodha means awareness, awareness. Confusing, no? Not yet. Let's resolve that. Go ahead. Atma in Atma Bodha is of the nature of that awareness which is always there, eternal, which is an objectless knowledge. The word Bodha in Atma refers to a second type of knowledge, which is an objective knowledge. The knowledge of something. Suppose we are all sitting in a room and I see the camera, I see Vandana operating the computer, I see these lights, I see a laptop in front of me, etc. And there are many, many objects. So I have an awareness of all the objects that are in this room. But I have an objective awareness of only one thing, which is the set of 6 people in this room, and occasionally if Vandana moves her head or hand, I will be looking at her briefly. This is how this awareness and objective knowledge are different. Unless I focus on something, objective knowledge will not happen. Whereas awareness is available to us all the time. The moment you open your eyes, everything in front of you, you are aware. But do you know it as an object? No. Only those which you focus on will become objective knowledge. All of us have Atma, the Swarupa Jnanam, which is, my nature is, as I said, awareness, existence. We'll leave the bliss part for now because that we will cover later when that subject comes. But for now, we know we are existent and we are awareness, which is a general experience for all of us. But in spite of this knowledge which is there, which is a Sarupanyam, just as we say sweetness of sugar is its nature, if we say that existence and consciousness is my nature, then why are we suffering? Why are we going up and down? For that, we require the same knowledge which is our Swarupam to become an objective knowledge for us. That is known as objective knowledge in Sanskrit is known as Vishaya Jnanam. We are going to make the very subject, which is me, as an object of study. The meaning of Atma Bodha is an objective knowledge of the self, which is of the nature of awareness. That is how it is resolved. Take away the slide. Now, having heard that, is that becoming clear? I will take a pause here to handle a few questions because there is so much of knowledge I have dumped onto all of you. So doubts will be running through your mind. Initially, we should address those doubts, because otherwise our thinking will stop. Once we latch ourselves into some confusion, we get stuck there. So the rest, if I proceed, you will be still stuck with, oh, I didn't understand this. What did it mean? And your mind will be going back and to that point. So we'll take a small break, and if anybody has got a question on what you have understood till now, raise your hand and I will try to address that. And then we'll move forward. Yes, Pradeep.
Actually, you said awareness. When we are in the waking state, there is awareness, and when we focus, the objective knowledge is obtained. So that awareness is what is self, or but
No. When I used the awareness in waking as an example, I was not referring to the self. I was merely referring to the ability of the eye to immediately see everything in front of it. The moment I open my eyes, I told you I'm seeing everything. My eye has registered everything. But my concentration is now on specific objects. So if somebody asks you, what did you see in front of you? You will only pick up those that you have made as objects. And you will forget those which were in your scope of awareness, but you did not register them. The registering we do is an object knowledge. That knowledge becomes yours, so that next time if you ask, it goes into your memory and then you are able to reproduce it. But the things that you don't register but are still available to your eye, then you just gloss over it in life, right? I was told as a joke that when you go into a party, okay, women and men have two different ability to look at things. One glance, women can actually look at which lady was wearing which jewel and which sari, which this thing. In one glance they will tell. And men will look at only what was there, which TV was there, what was the remote, and what was the computer in that room, and things like that. So both of them, their eyes are seeing the entire party. But each one registers something because of their focus. Now, what causes the focus, why it is happening, those are all secondary things. But what we notice is that everything that comes in front of our eyes, we are aware, but we objectify only few of them and take them inside our mind. And if they are really interesting, we keep it in memory. Otherwise, we'll discard it. So the ability to objectify something is what is known as Bodha.
Okay. So the self.
Yeah. The Atma. Yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry.
So the ability to objectify is Bodha. So Atma is not awareness. Atma is.
The term Atma in Atma Bodha is the awareness which is the subject, which is the one who is seeing everything. One of the definition was that it experiences everything, it is always there. All these features of Atma, we are going to study it by focusing on each one of them. So the rest of the text is going to be about this. That is what it means. Clear? Okay, next slide. If there are any other questions, I didn't. No one. Okay, let's move forward. Yes, click. Now, every text usually starts with what is known as a Mangala Charanam. Mangal means auspicious. Acharanam means, click. Once more. Acharanam means observance or abidance. In Sanskrit, Mangal is defined as Samapti Pratibandha Rupa Durita Vidyatmakam Mangalam. Such a long word, even very difficult even for me to understand. But we'll try, don't worry. Durita means Papa. Papa means obstacles. Whenever we have earned demerits in our life by our specific actions, they actually prevent us from knowing ourselves. Simple equation. The term papa is used by many people in, they equate it to sin, and then they go all over the place in trying to defend it, saying that, coveting others' wealth is papa, etc., etc. But the real effect of papa, which is demerits, is those actions that are preventing us from understanding our nature. That's all. Very simple. And then you can correlate that with various activities. When you do some action which is going to prevent you from understanding yourself, they will come back to you as results which are of three kinds. The first kind is known as adhyatmika. Adhyatmika means that which is coming from within us. I'm trying to understand Vedanta. A severe migraine comes. Every time I sit in Vedanta class, I get a migraine. This is adhyatmika. Every time I sit in front of a Mahatma, either I go to sleep or I'm not able to understand anything. Adhyatmika. Every time I sit in front of somebody, I always get somebody who uses big Sanskrit words, long standing, I don't understand anything, it happens. Adhyatmika. I go to the session and the camera doesn't work, the audio doesn't work. All this is part of your adhyatmika, but it becomes external to you. Then they become category known as Adi Bhautika. Just when I wanted to go to a satsang, my other partner says, no, we have to go somewhere else. Very important. Guests have come, we have to buy something, you have to do that. Now you're caught between what is important to you and what is important to people around you. And you have to choose, better choose that which is around you, because they have anyway come into your life. Don't go to satsang is what we'll feel, telling ourselves. That is Adi Bhautika. In spite of all of these things, you have a conducive environment, an inner frame of mind, and then you go and sit into that class. For some reason, the knowledge doesn't come to you. I have been listening to satsang after satsang, Bhagavad Gita lectures of great people, but nothing happens to me. I'm still my own self. These are known as Adi Daivika, because they are coming from powers which we don't know. If I am born in Kali Yuga, no, definitely Adi Daivika Vignam is highest. In Satya Yuga, if you were born, within 2 minutes, knowledge would have come to you. Here it takes years for us to even understand basic concepts. And we get more confused than becoming clear. We use so many words to explain something, and then we ultimately get ourselves caught up in those words. That is Adi Daivika Vigna. All these vignas or interferences which are actually become pratibandha. Pratibandha means they are interfering with the vidyatmakam. The vidya actually coming to us. Its samapti. Its end of all these interferences is known as Mangala. The Mangala Charan means the moment you read that verse which has been provided, all the obstacles in your path to realization will be stopped. It is applicable for all kind of knowledge, but we will focus only on Vedanta and self-knowledge. That's why I said it will put an end to all. There are three types of Mangala Charan. Namaskara Rupa Mangalacharanam. There, the author will be so grateful to his Guru or Bhagwan or both, because of whose grace he has grasped this knowledge and he is able to produce this text which will enable others to follow the path. He is so immersed in his gratitude, so it becomes Namaskara Rupa Mangalacharanam. The second type of Mangalacharanam is known as Vastu Nirdeshaka Rupa Mangalacharanam. The truth that is going to be expounded in this sloka, mantra or treatise or anything it becomes the Vastu. Vastu means an object. Nirdeshaka means it to indicate it. An object of this text is indicated in the Mangalacharanam. The purpose of the text is indicated in the Mangalacharanam. That becomes the second kind of Mangalacharanam verses. And finally, Ashirvada Rupa Mangalacharanam. Ashirvada means benediction. So, either seeking blessings from God or Guru, or providing the blessings to the student who has taken up to reading this text. The third kind of Mangalacharanam is also available. Atma Bodha belongs to the second back. Yeah. Atma Bodha belongs to Vastu Nirdeshaka Rupa Mangalacharanam as its type. And the very first verse of Atma Bodha is also a Mangalacharanam, and it has got additional features. We will see that also. Let's go into the verse and see. We will briefly look into the verse. Next slide. I'm going to chant this verse once, and then I will request somebody in the group to chant it back to me. But the verse will be available for you so that you can read it either in English or in Sanskrit if you are familiar, and then read it. Tapo vikshina papanam shantanam vitaraginam mumukshonam apekshoyam atma bodho vidiyate. Tapo vikshina papanam shantanam vitaraginam mumukshonam apekshoyam atma bodho vidiyate. Take away the slide pen. Shall I pick somebody and then we'll bring. Okay, who would like to go first? There's a choice. And those who are not on video can use the hand symbol on your device to select. Pradeep wants to go. Okay, Pradeep it is.
Tapo vikshina papanam shantanam vitaraginam mumukshonam apekshiyoyam atma bodho vidiyate.
The word is Tapobik Kshina Papanam Shantanam Vitaraginam.
Shantanam vitaraginam.
Mumukshonam apekshoyam. It's not apekshya is actually kshayam. You make a U of your tongue and that's chant.
Mumukshonam apekshoyam atma bodho vidiyate.
Perfect. Good. Pradeep, for a first attempt, you did very well. I think we owe you a good thing. Very good. So, coming back to the slide, please. Thapobik, by austerities. Kshina papanam, for those who have purified themselves. Shantanam, for those who have become peaceful inside. Vitaraginam, for those who are free from cravings. Mumukshunam, for those who are desirous of liberation. Apekshya, hoping for or expecting to gain. I am this. Atma Bodha, the knowledge of the self. Vidiyate, is composed. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, I am composing this Atma Bodha, this treatise on self-knowledge, for those who have purified themselves by austerities, and as a result of this, they have become peaceful in heart, and they are no longer having any cravings from the world outside, and they are desirous of liberating themselves from this cycle of birth and death. This is the message of the first verse. Next one. slide. Tapobih, the term austerities. Can you move the control a little bit so I can read the text also? No, this one, the top one. That can't move? Okay. Tapobhi actually comes from the root thapa. Thapa means means to burn oneself. When we initially try to withdraw from the sense pursuits, there is a burning that we will experience. This burning is the result of friction between our tendencies in the form of deep-rooted vasanas or impressions we have carried from many, many lives, and the direction that we are currently trying to take, which is to withdraw from the force of going towards objects. So when I take a vrata, when I take a puja, when I take some kind of austerity measure, my mind resists it, because mind is still under the control of our vasanas or impressions. So on one direction, the mind is being impelled towards the world of pleasure-seeking environment, and the tapa that you have decided, the vrata that you have decided to follow, the puja that you have decided to conduct, is actually pushing you towards the other side. And as a result of this pull and push, actually a lot of heat is generated. And one has to bear that heat initially till that effect of that vrata becomes natural and easy for the mind. It is only when the value that is associated with the one and the other is balanced by your intellect, and your mind is convinced that the value I gain by withdrawing myself from these sense pleasures and being attached to only my true self is the answer to realization of the self. It is the way by which you convince yourself the value of a higher knowledge is superior to a value of a lower pleasure. And ultimately, this lower pleasure is not a pleasure, it's only a sorrow. Once that higher value is given to yourself on a pursuit which is different from where your mind would normally go to, such a practice is known as tapa, and it becomes easy. We'll stop here. Take on. The rest of the words we will see in our next session. I will take a 2-minute break for anybody who has got any questions so far on where we have understood Atma Bodha. To respond. What did you actually gather by the term tapobhi, tapa? Salvatore? Oh, still a problem with your mic. Sorry about that. Okay, Vidyaji, you can give a shot at it.
So what I understood was that tapobi is so the act of like doing something which can cause a feeling of burning, which is just your mind kind of going against what your what your vasanas are telling you to do, or the pressures that have built from long-standing experiences, I guess. And it's just that initial stage of pushing against those kind of habits that you have, until you realize that the higher purpose that you're searching for, whatever it is, that becomes more natural to you, and so therefore it's no longer an effort. And that's the purpose of doing that tapas.
Right, very good, Vidya, very good. You understood it correctly, but there are some more points that I will leave with you to think about it. When you say that your mind is being pushed towards worldly pleasures due to vasanas, because of whatever previous vasanas or deep impressions you have carried, there are two possibilities. What happens if I have carried good vasanas in my mind, that being with noble people and all that, then there is no conflict between my vasana and my desire to withdraw from the world and concentrate on something great. I'm not feeling the pressure because my vasanas itself are telling I have to go towards the path of knowledge. That is one possibility. We have to think about that. The second possibility is that I have desire for higher, but the higher is a relative higher, not an absolute high. So these two factors will decide how much of friction is there and how easy the tapa is going to be. If I have a desire for worldly life, and because of some impulse in me, I'm trying to push myself to become a Vedantin or be liberated, then the heat is too much. The tapa will be very intense. But if I already have an inclination towards Vedanta as a deep impression in me, very naturally I will take to the path of austerity very easily and then it no longer becomes an issue for me. If the path of Vedanta is the absolute, path of bhakti is one step less than that. Not really, but for the sake of discussion. And if path of karma yoga is one step even less than that, and then path of doing good to world is one more step less than that, they are still nobler than sense pursuits. But the pressure that you will generate will not be as high as that which you will generate when you have very intense desire for the worldly pleasures and you are trying to reach Vedanta in one step. Many people cannot maintain that kind of vrata today. Many people cannot follow that because the pressure is so much, the heat is so intense that they all aim for the sky, but in the process they burn themselves and their mind becomes, totally killed and burnt out, literally. Then they find they can neither go back to the world nor to the world of Vedanta. They are stuck in between. So each one of us must choose the goal that is feasible based upon our own mind's frame of work and push ourselves to the next level. That is why Mahatmas have glorified various activities at various points in time. First they will tell you dharmam chara, meaning follow the path of dharma, which is do good to the world outside. Don't worry about liberation and all on first stage. And then dharmam chara will be followed by karma yogam kara. Meaning that you follow a path of karma yoga where what you're doing is karma dedicated to a higher Lord. And as you perfect that also is going to create a lot of pressure in you when you move. But once you've perfected it, it becomes easy. Then you move to the next stage where that Lord for whom you dedicated your action becomes your only goal in life. Then you move into bhakti yoga. He is all for you. Instead of I doing, now he becomes one with me. Then you develop an intense love, bhakti and deep affection for him. And every action in your life is only driven by that. That becomes Bhakti Yoga. And then when you read Shankaracharya's books and knowledge creeps in, then it becomes like that. And Bhagavan Shankaracharya uses the word Karatala Amala, meaning just like a gooseberry in your hand, this knowledge will act on us. Now, in today's parlance, our mind is not tuned like that. So we are going to try a different approach than what was prescribed by Mahatmas. The approach we are going to do is a multifold approach. We will do Loka Seva, Dharma we will understand. We will do little bit of Karma Yoga that is possible. We will also do Bhakti Yoga, and we will also read texts. So that there is a sure way of overcoming this hurdles that are there in our understanding of the truth. Nothing wrong, perfect approach, we can do it. All four practices can be done together because they are not contradicting each other. They are all aligning yourself to the truth. And depending upon the strength of your mind, you can navigate through which becomes a priority in your life at various points in time. If you find that you're in the middle of the world, then stick to Dharma and Karma Yoga. But your mind is still thinking of Bhakti and Jnana. You're not giving it up. But the outside world around you will see you as a Karma Yogi and only a Dharmatma. That is the approach will give you this effect of Thapa. So Thapa itself is, even though a simple word, which means Vrata and Puja and all that, what Bhagavan Shankaracharya is trying to tell in that one word itself is an immense science of evolution of man. Thapobik is the first step to realization. And four kinds of tapas are possible. Dharmam chara, if you are struggling with no knowledge, at least follow Dharma, that itself will become a tapa for you. And then Karma Yoga will become a more intense tapa if you are a Dharmatman, but you still have not dedicated your actions to Bhagavan. And when you get to Bhakti Yoga, then it becomes an even more intense where Bhagavan becomes your only focus. That is a tapa for you from Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga also. And from Bhakti Yoga to Jnana Yoga is the intense tapa that is required, where the subtle issues that are in your intellect and mind have to be resolved. So, Thapobhi Kshina Papanam will come later. We will see what is Kshina Papanam in our next class. With that, we will call today's session an end. Thank you very much for all of you being there. Please give your feedback on how it's going, because if you find I've used some terms a little difficult for you to understand, then I will tone it down. If you would like me to go faster or slower, then also we will do that. We will adjust our plans according to our journey that we are taking together. It is a joint journey. It's not that I am going, you are all going to push me and take me along in this journey. So together we'll make this journey. Okay? With that, let me close this session with a prayer. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Jagadishvara. Hari Om.